Alright, it's March 2nd, Saturday. I'd like to go over why I chose to use 1/4 inch foam on the layout here. As you can see, I've used 1/4 inch Luan board as the base for going around the loop area here in several different configurations, and also around the elevation change here. This piece that's in here now, that's just, I think I might build a farm pond and a farmhouse and something over here. I don't know yet for sure. Anyway, this piece here is 3/4 inch plyboard. Up front here I've used more Luan board to support these levels. It's nice and it's pretty sturdy. By the time you get some plaster and everything else on there, it'll be pretty good. The foam board comes in, panels are 2 foot by 4 foot panels. It's 50 foot long by 4 foot. Panels are 2 by 4, so you get a bunch of panels. It's accordion style, so that it folds out and everything. On the other side, it's got dashes for cut lines and everything if you need that. I used, to start with the loop over here, I used just standard painter's grade caulking, $1.50, $1.75, whatever it is, a tube. Then I remembered I had some tile mastic downstairs, so that's what I'm gonna continue using from now on, since I already have it and don't need to go out and buy a bunch more tubes of caulk. Works really good. Also use the traditional tile spreader with the teeth on it, to get a nice even coating on it. Now when I did the main line up here on this upper deck area, I put the mastic just towards the center where I kind of anticipated the glue or the track was going to be, so that's where I put the mastic glue there. Mastic glue, whatever it says adhesive on the thing, so that's what I used. But anyway, the foam I used was started off being probably 4.5, 5 inches wide, knowing I was going to cut it down. After the track was secured, I came back after everything dried. I came back and bevel edge cut the track nice and close. In the center, I also bevel cut that, so it gives a little bit of a depression between the two tracks. Also on my tracks, they're nice and straight, as you can see, going down. But I also, what I did is I put a little rise and fall between the two, just to add a little bit more, I don't know, fun or whatever, more action to the railroad. There's another. I used 1/16 inch cardboard and also 1mm strips of cardboard to build up the elevation a little bit. You can see back in the yard I used two levels of 1/4 inch foam, and so now there's 1 inch difference between the two levels, so it gives a good definition between the main line and the upper cement plant yard. You can see here in the center again where I've angle cut using just a regular razor knife to get the depression between the two tracks. In here I've added some ballast in, and there's a few crumbs of burnt grass in there also, looks like. but you can see that it turns out really nice. And the car right next to it here will get a pretty good close-up of it so you can see a good definition. That's why I chose 1/4" foam. Really, 1/4" foam gives a nice roadbed edge that you can scene up to with your grasses and weeds and whatever the heck you got, you know. But here's one that I did a little section here with some grasses and the ballast. Turns out really nice. The Cork roadbed traditional that most everybody uses is an 1/8" thick, and I just didn't think that was going to be thick enough to give definition for the scenery. So I thought about this 1/4" foam, and it comes in handy for everything. I mean, instead of getting, a lot of guys use 1/2" or 1" foam. Well, the 1/4" foam, it's bendable. You can bend it to shape if you want. Bend it for around your corners like I've done here. You know, I wanted to extend out a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more room for this upper track here. I think I'll probably add one more piece in there and build it out just a little bit more. But the car's nice with a hobby knife, you know, or whatever, X-Acto knife. Also, what I've done here is I've used an old soldering iron and melted the edges down just a little bit. But really what I was wanting, another reason why I chose the foam, is so I could use a soldering iron and give definition between a depression between the two tracks here. I've used soldering iron, come in here and just lightly melted that down, so when you cover it with ballast, it will give a nice depression in between the two. And I'll do that all over the place for a lot of these tracks, just to give a little bit of that definition, take away that flat look. And you know, you can stack it if you want to, and make however high you want. That'll be a 1/2" high rail serve area. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but it paints really well. This is just some of that gray gesso stuff that I have, and that's just one coat, and it does really well on that. Also, what you can do is, I did this really quick with just the back of a knife. I just took the back of the knife and lightly scored some lines in it, and then painted it gray. But you can, and then what I did afterwards also to give more of a definition of stone and more of effect, is just come back and firmly squeeze the foam, and it'll kind of stay in a kind of like those pop bubbles. You can feel it getting squishy. So that kind of gives a little bit more definition, like it looks like stone. Said it holds paint really well. I just did this real quick just for giggles, but you can see, you know, it does a pretty good job there. It would do a pretty good job if you took a bit more time at it, I guess. Like I said, I just did it real quick. Or you can use it for retaining wall or whatever. Scribe some stone into a retaining wall. You might even be able to take a little bit of modeler's putty or something, go over the top of it in spots, or I don't know. I'm still experimenting with the stuff myself, so we'll come up with some more uses for it. But and it's also easy to stick your scenery trees in. Just stick them right in, bang, bang, and you're in like flint. A little bit of glue on the bottom, you're in like flint. Like I said, the bevels turn out really nice. This is the same way. This one was probably about a 2-inch wide piece that after everything was glued and set down, I came back and angle cut it, gave it some nice bevels so that you can see the definite. Oh, we got a car off the track down there. I came to buy also, and I've painted some of the ties, weathered some of the ties gray, and I'm just doing some experimentation. Like I said, I've done the side of the rails and stuff, but anyway, back to the foam. I'm cheap, I guess, but then also with the cork is expensive when you start adding up. This layout will consume probably 300 plus feet of track, and like these yard areas, I just didn't want to use strips of cork up there, or even buy sheets of cork, because that's really expensive. You're talking a couple $100 by the time you're done with all the cork and everything. Where that 50-foot by 4-foot piece of foam right there cost me $36 in tax. And I think there's even a discount or something going on sale, whatever. But oh, and I also chose one hardware store's green foam versus the other hardware store had pink foam. Well, I didn't feel like looking at pink foam for the next several months, I'm sure. So that's why I opted to get the green. It's the same price, and either place you go, same price, but I wanted green, and must sit there and look like pink all the time. But that's why I chose 1/4-inch foam to use. You can see all my framework and base work is all solid. It's all 3/4 inch, and it's tied into the wall. And like I've said in another video, I wouldn't get up there and dance a jig, but it'll hold a model railroad, that's for sure. But you know, the 5-foot span here, I wanted to use a nice thick base across there without having to have another support. And 3/4 inch plyboard, you cut it in half and use it for studs, like I've done underneath here. I just cut a 3.5 inch piece and ran that instead of a 3.5 inch pine board. 3/4 inch by 3.5 inch. I had to cut part of this 3/4 inch piece off anyway, so I just flipped under, and I've used them for brackets under here and whatever all else. But this layout's been, the wood on it's been scrounged from laying around and other projects, and so everything looks used. I'm thrifty, so cheap, however you want to say it, but you got it, use it. Wood's wood. You won't see it after it gets all the seam and everything on it anyway. So, all right.